Good day and welcome to another edition of Tourismus Namibia. I'm Yelani Smith and will be your presenter for today. As usual, we will be discussing topics, destinations, and to the point. Up next, topics.
Hey, don't worry about the car, boss. I checked nice.
Thank you, but it's okay, ne? F&B insurance. Checks nicer.
No.
At F&B Insurance, we provide cover for all your valuables, from your car to your laptop to your phone. F&B Insurance, you value it, we cover it. T's and C's apply.
Welcome back, and our first topic is about the operations at the Trans-Kahalari Border Post. Namibia and Botswana are launching the 24-hour operation of the Trans-Kahalari Mamuno Border Post today. The launch is very important for economic development in the region as the Trans-Kahalari corridor links the port of Walvis Bay to Botswana's capital. The two countries introduced the use of the National Identity Card for cross-border movement in February and signed an agreement that will allow the use of these IDs as travel documents when crossing the borders of the two countries. Our next topic is about our occupancy rates in the country. The latest occupancy rates at nationwide hospitality establishments this year is already off to a better start than 2021 and 2022. Occupancy rates averaged 31.7% in February compared to 37.1% in January this year and 22.5% in February last year. This is according to data by the Hospitality Association of Namibia. Namibian travelers accounted for 55% of all guests at nationwide hospitality establishments, whereas only 31% of all guests were Namibians in February this year. Our next topic that we will discuss is about the cheetahs that were translocated to India last year. On a side note, one of Namibia's cheetahs that were relocated to India last year as part of plans to reintroduce the species on the subcontinent died on Monday from a kidney infection. The deceased cheetah named Sasha was one of 8 brought from Namibia to India's Kuno National Park. Sasha began to show signs of fatigue and weakness, having developed a kidney infection in January. However, on a happier note, one of the other translocated cheetahs gave birth to 4 cubs on Wednesday. Next up, we will have destinations. Welcome back, and as we look at destinations, the first place we are visiting is Butcher's Block in Windhoek. There's nothing quite like a cut of all Namibian steak. Butcher's Block in Windhoek has established itself as one of the best places to enjoy Namibia's legendary beef on your visit. The steakhouse is located in Jan Jonker Street in Klein Windhoek and prides on delivering premium quality steaks, bursting with flavor and perfectly complemented by the impressive selections of wines. Let's watch the video.
Hi, my name is Anouk. I'm the co-owner and a director at Butcher Block Steakhouse in Windhoek. So we opened this store in 2019. It's been almost 5 years now. Butcher Block, however, is a very old brand. It was started in 2003 by my husband, Manuel Savick. He had started the brand in 2003, and then we progressed to having, I think, more than 12 or just over 12 stores in South Africa. And then we wanted a new challenge, and we decided to open in Windhoek. So when we opened the store initially, we had two sections on our menu, Namibian meat and South African meat. That was not received well by Namibians. We probably had those options on our menu for about 12 months, and then we came to realize that just as passionate as we are about meat in general, Namibians are passionate about Namibian meat. So it was removed, and except for that, Namibians have been extremely supportive. Even during COVID, we had so many people who come here every week who eat the same thing. I think it's the perfect platform to showcase the quality of the meat that is available in Namibia. So I think the main thing that makes us special is that our food is actually extremely traditional. We have the mash, the seasonal veggies, we have pumpkin like your mom used to make it, but then also in some parts of the menu there are items that are special. We serve lamb kidneys, we serve skilpaikies, we have a prawn and chicken curry, and then we also have items that aren't on the menu that we prepare seasonally from our kitchen manager. For example, at the moment we have a Durban-style lamb curry. I don't know if it's possible to explain what a Durban-style lamb curry is if you haven't had it, but it's special, it's different, and it's not something that's available anywhere else in Windhoek. There's also a back part to the brand, which is creating employment. So for example, at this one store, we have 52 staff, which is quite a lot. It's in essence 52 families that you're feeding. So we are trying to focus more on that at the moment. Also training, we train all our staff, we send them for training, we try to develop them. It's very important to us. So yeah, we just keep on moving forward with hiring the right staff, training the right staff, and trying to help the economy. And then we'll see what the future holds in regards to more stores. We pay special attention to the ingredients that go into our food. So if we're making mashed potatoes, it gets butter. If we're making pap, it gets olive oil. And that's also why Butcher Block is on the pricier side. I mean, at the end of the day, let's call a spade a spade. It's because if you're eating something, you're eating quality. In regards to the meat, everything is sourced here. We also keep all our meat on site for between 16 and 28 days, so it is matured, and that's why it's so tender and so flavoursome. You know, and these things take time and effort and training. So I would say at Butcher Block, it's quality over quantity. If it's your first time here, I would definitely, and if it's someone's first time here and it's a bunch of people, I would recommend having a whole bunch of starters. It sounds unorthodox for a steakhouse, but like I said earlier, the lamb kidneys, the skilpaikies, we have snails in like a cheesy roquefort sauce. There's interesting things to be had. I would have that as like a tapas situation, and then of course have a steak and just keep it extremely traditional. A steak with mash, a steak with fries, a steak with veg. And then also we have something called a bordelais sauce. It's a red wine and herb jus, or in other words, a reduction that complements all the cuts perfectly. So I would definitely recommend that. Just keep it traditional when it comes to the mains, and just be a little bit exciting if you're having starters.
Our second destination is just an hour's drive from Windhoek and 30 minutes from the Hosea Kotaku International Airport. This is Sniper Valley, Namibia, a shooting range that opened about 8 months ago and is aiming to provide the best places for shooting sports. Guests can enjoy the entire day on the range or overnight and enjoy the mountain views, wildlife, while it also serves breakfast, lunch and dinner. Activities at this facility include shooting training, self-defense training, hiking and a farm drive. Enjoy the video.
we offer handgun training, which is for the purpose of self-defense, which means we are not shooting steel plates so much, but we focus on a stable stance and a quick drawing of the handgun, which is in self-defense situation. Somebody come at you with a knife or something very basic. And then in handgun training, we also have long-range shooting, where we train, on the one hand, we offer training in the reloading of ammunition, and we also then do the practical application, which is shooting at targets and then also getting to understand the factors affecting the display of the target in the scope or on the trajectory of the bullet. I think these are the two services, and we also have .22 range for the young snipers amongst us, and here we have a long rifle semi-automatic for the youngsters to enjoy and get started into shooting. Okay.
Next, we have To the Point. In today's To the Point, we have a look at the renowned fairy circle expert, Prof. Dr. Norbert Jurgens, who recently invited interested people and stakeholders to an excursion to the fairy circles in the Namib. There he cited evidence for the termite theory. Nevertheless, in view of alternative theories, the mystery of their origin does not seem to be finally clarified. NMH journalist Katharina Moser also joined the excursion. Let's watch the video.
By termites when they bite just once into the... Or now comes the gas theory. The gas theory in the present discussion on fairy circles is forgotten, although I believe it was very okay. I even wrote an article, a scientific article. What was the title? Searching Common Ground for Different Hypotheses. Where I said, this is all true. And let me tell you the story again. The people in Pretoria, starting with people like a NAST professor at Windhoek, Willy Jankowitz, but also Gretel van Rooyen from Pretoria, and then a PhD student, Naude, they found in soil from fairy circles gases that have similar organic compounds like earth gas and oil from the earth. And therefore their proposal was, this is a geological phenomenon. And there are processes deep in the earth where toxic gases, well, they said semi-volatile substances, so not always gas, sometimes liquid, produced by earth processes come up to the ground. I find it hard to understand why that shall happen only on a linear band from Angola, always along the eastern margin of the Namib Desert, and then going around the Orange River, valley to almost Pafadder, and then turning back to Port Nolloth in the Richtersveld. Why should it be there? Along that 2,000 kilometers, there are hundreds of geological formations. There's granite, there's basalt. So it's unlikely, but that's what they published. And I collected my nests and brought them to the Chemist Institute at Hamburg and asked them to analyze what they find inside and outside fairy circles, nests, and the matrix. And then I had a grumpy response. They told me, Norbert, you mess around with your diesel in your Land Rover. We found diesel and petrol in all our samples. So please go again to Kaokafel, to Angola, to South Africa, sample again, but this time please make it correct and clean. So another year collecting, I brought it, and they found the same stuff again. And then we understood it's produced by the termite nest. And then we understood it's produced by the termites. This we cannot prove in detail. We did not do the hard work to have a termite, a living termite, and kill it and analyze the guts. But we know for sure that the sand termites have a special stomach part where bacteria, and we talk about bacteria without oxygen access, so very ancient bacteria similar to those bacteria that live in deep geological soil formations where earth gas and earth oil are produced. Such bacteria, in a combination with flagellates, live there without oxygen and digest celluloses. The celluloses of the grass cannot be digested by most animal species. There are few exceptions, but bacteria and flagellates are able to do that. If you look at it a bit more careful, here for example, what's happening here? Yeah, that's good. Thank you, whoever that was, who gave sun on this, on this spot. Everybody in a row can walk down here. This is a typical tunnel of the sand termite, and often you only find that. There's Felicitas. Felicitas is our queen of the genetics and the morphology. Felicitas brought with her all the other termites existing in this part of the Namib Desert. The Hodotermes, the Microhodotermes, the Macrotermes, the Baugaliotermes. All these would not fit into this tunnel. So there are very, very simple but clear laws that add to our experience. We know all these tunnel systems. They have been published by others, by us. We know them for 30, 40 years now, and we promise you this type of tunnel with a black wall covering, we call it tapetum. That is typical only for one termite species, and that is the Southern African sand termite. That black material probably is nothing but shit. In the book, we have one chapter, chapter 8.3, where the microbiologist of a Leibniz Institute for Bacteria and Fungi in Germany, in Braunschweig, studied only the nests and the tunnels. And they found hundreds and hundreds of bacteria and fungi living in that material. And we believe when it's in the tunnel, it's also on the termites. So when they walk and fly, they carry that with them. And 2 fungi inside these tunnels are killing plants. So plant pathogenic fungi, 2 species. And it may well be that a single bite of a termite into a grass root may help to kill a grass. We don't really know that. Nobody has studied that. But I also report open research questions that we have not solved. If you look at these grasses, I give one around. Typically, they have a cover of sand, and that doesn't drop. However, some don't have that. Please give that through the road. The scent cover is kept by single cells. All roots of higher plants do not take up the water with the root, the proper hard woody root, but only with epidermal cells that get elongated. And they have then, because of the elongation, a huge surface. And they take up water. And in the case of these desert grasses, they grow around the sand particles next to them and make them part of their sheltering surrounding. And many of them lose that. And it's not easy to say what happens here. The damage has first been published by a South African, Karl Albrecht, in 2001. He went to Namib and compared the grasses within, the roots of the grasses within a bare patch, a fairy circle, compared them with those. And he found that these have healthy scent coverages, while those have them to a much lesser extent. He said these have 94%, these have, I think, 30%. It's shown in the book also with a photograph. Yeah, we even found more, and especially here at the Previer, we found that a few weeks after the rain, each germinating grass, and unfortunately we are in a dry year, so we can't show that, but 2 to 3 weeks after germination, each of the young plants at the root, or what one thinks is a root, has a little ball of compacted sand. And if you open that ball of compacted sand, kannst du das Buch holen, dass wir das zeigen können? If that ball of compacted sand is opened, then only you see, it's a grass seed. The grass seed is inside, and the ball is performed by the termites exactly at the spot where the grass seed germinated, where the young shoot, called plumula, left the seed. And that is a logical attack point, because there, the grass seed structure, which in reality is a fruit, has been destroyed. So there's access for the termite, and there's good access to the most important food, the endosperm starch. We use a simple term to call that herbivory, plant eating. Herbivorous, yeah. But it's subterranean herbivory. They are not interested in the above ground parts of the grasses. The above ground parts, you can see it in the book on these pages, just get white and wilt and yellow, and then they fly away. What happens, what kills them, happens at the root system. So this is the interpretation. There may be open space for additional processes like influence of gas or toxic gases produced from the nest, but that's also scent termite then. Or it may be microbiology is involved. Open space for additional research, but from all what we know, the best explanation is scent termites are the main involved organism. Yeah, and this trench. We also want to show you that under each fairy circle, the soil is wetter than here in the matrix, because here the grasses took the water up and used it up. So this is dry, while here it's moist. So we need a spade to, again, this was this morning, so the first centimeter dried out already. Yeah. And the soldiers defend the colony, and the workers go up and eat the grass roots. But that creates, after the second year, it creates a fairy circle that catches water. And that is an ingenious adaptation. In the desert you need water. And therefore this termite is the only termite on Earth caring for saving water, collecting water, trapping water, and storing water. And then the second need is food. But the food is then found in the surrounding, because here the termites killed all the rest. And that makes the whole system.
But the workers bring food to the queen and king?
Yes, they feed the queen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because she lives in a chamber her whole life, so she cannot move it around somewhere, and so the workers have to feed the queen. Yes.
Ja, sorry. young queen is low tunnel endings that create these little soil dumps here. The tunnel endings, if you use them as an indicator of activity, are at maximum in the center, then they go down at the margin, are at zero at the hedge, and here they come up again, because here they harvest plants.
Eating the roots?
Yes. No, not only the roots. We will show you.
Plant materials.
They also sometimes cover the above ground parts of the plants with sand. We call that sand sheetings or sand galleries. And this sand protects them against the sun and against predators, birds, for example. So that we will show you. We have seen that this morning in many places.
Not sclerosized, so there's whitish. It's a young soldier, and then he's older. There.
Now they defend the nest from what?
Yes. For ants are going inside and catching for termites.
Okay.
And yes.
Often one here, one there, one there. So equally distributed. If you look at this is collected grass material in a sisal form, like that. And that is in front of the nest entrance of ants. You can see the ants walking here. Those ants, for years not knowing ants, now I know ants, I call the red-black killer ant. Because they, in the morning, when the termites come out and clean their tunnels, catch the termites. So this is a omnivorous ant eating plants and animals, and they have termites for breakfast, and then the rest of the day they eat grass.
That is all we have for you today. Thank you for watching and enjoy the day.